Hi, welcome. Last video of this week, section 6.5, and it's page 219. It's a lot of information, but what's nice is that usually you can see the setup. They're all proportions and they're all pretty much the same work. So if you're good with setting up the proportion, cross multiplying and dividing, you just have to make sure you're consistent with the setup. So these three new ones today, if two triangles are similar, then the following corresponding parts are also proportional. So it's nice, like if I took this side B and this side A, it will be proportional to this side D to this side C. So if I set this up, I can say A to C are in the same spot, so I can put A to C and B to D. Now remember that we could always use the cross product. I could do A to B equals C to D, and that would also work. These are heights or altitudes. So altitudes of triangles, or the height, proportional to one of the legs. Now this one, if they are angle bisectors. So angle bisectors here, if this is the angle bisector A, it will be proportional to the leg. Angle bisector C will be proportional to the leg. Same proportion, the actual angle bisectors A to C, proportional to the legs B to D. This one over here is a median. We have a line coming from the vertex cutting the middle. This median here is A, this median here is C. Now one of the legs, say this was the leg B and this was the leg D, they are going to cut them proportionally. So again, you can put A over C equals B over D. Or you could use this one over here, and this one would be true for all of these as well, as long as when you do the cross product you have the same proportion. So one thing that might be helpful, I'm going to color code so I can see these. I need to set up a proportion. And I see I think in these cases they're all medians. This median here is X, this median here is 15. I can put the medians together here and here. So I go X to 15. Now, I want to pick a side. It's up to me which side I pick because I have two sides here and two sides here. If I were going to pick, I'm probably going to pick the 16. 16 is ST. So if I want to make sure that it corresponds, I want to pick DE over here, which would be this one. So color code them, make sure you are picking the correct value. So here is my proportion. This is the triangle on the left. This over here is the triangle on the right. So X and 16, 15 and 20. Cross multiply, divide, simplify if you can. These are both divisible by 4. 4 over 5. We get 5x equals 60. Divide and I get x equals 12. So again, the same work we've done all week. Just make sure you're consistent with your setting. So can you set up the proportion? Again, I'm probably going to do this pretty consistent. I'll go ahead and do my left and then my right. I'm going to take my altitude this time here and here. My altitudes here and here. And then I'm going to pick my side X, HI. I want to make sure that it matches. I only have one side over here, but I just want to make sure. LK, and it does. So I'm going to put 10 and X. Over here I'm going to put 8 and 14. Simplify if you can. Cross multiply and divide. Divide by 2, I get 5 over 4. And 4x equals What am I wrong? 5 times 14. Not have the same right answer. 5 times 14, we get 70. And then divide by 4, I get x equals 17. There we go. Okay, go ahead and set up the next two. Come back and check. Again, and you may not have to use the highlighters, but again, if you start making mistakes, a highlighter is definitely the place to start. I'm going to use this 38 is AC, so EF is this piece over here. That's my setup. I'm going to do 32 and 38, 24, and x, divide by 8. I get 4 over 3. 4x equals, what is 3 times 38? I get 114. Divide and I get x equals 28. Okay, one more over here. Now this one's a little tricky because the altitude's on the outside, but again, this is still the altitude. I have the longest side PQ is x, which is UT over here, 42. Be consistent, I have 12 and 15. Here I have x and 42. Simplify if you can. Again, you don't have to. It just makes it a little bit easier. Divide by 3, I get 4 over 5. 5x equals 42 times 4. You get 168. Divide by 5, we should get x is about 33.6. Okay, I'm going to pause and go to the next page, but again, a lot of all the same stuff. Set it up, cross multiply and divide. Over here, again, you should pause and set it up. See if you can come back and if you get the right answer. I have 20 and 12. YC and LH. So I'm going to put 20 over 12, 2x minus 9 over x minus 2. Simplify if I can, divide by 4, I get a 5, divide by 4, I get a 3. And so we have 3 times 2x minus 9 equals 5 times x minus 2. 6x minus 27 equals 5x minus 10. Subtract over here to get an x. Add over here to get a 17. Okay, here's my last triangle proportionality that we're going to go over. Angle bisector of a triangle separates the sides, so if I call this A and B, and the legs, so C and D. So again, I'm going to go ahead and put A over C, and then I would put B over D. Now, remember, other ways we could write it, we could flip the whole thing. Exactly how we see this. C over A equals D over B. That's going to work exactly how we see the problem. I could also do D over C over D equals A over B. Same cross product in all of these cases. I could do D over C equals B over A. So there's there's tons of ways you can write these. You just have to make sure you're consistent with the setup. I am going to pause my screen and set these up, come back and check the setups. So again, here are our setups. Remember, yours does not have to match mine exactly as long as whatever's across from it is the same. Like here I did 40 and 36, 54 and x. You could have done 36 over x and 40 over 54. You would still have the same numbers across from each other to multiply. So as long as the numbers that are across making that x are the same, you set it up correctly. Go ahead and solve these. I'm going to just give you the answers right now. I'm not going to work them out. So once you solve them, this one should have been x equals 7.2. This one here should be x equals 48.6. Here we should get x equals 22.5. Here we get x equals 32. And here, again, you can't simplify here. You could have simplified in many of these other cases. You might want to rewrite this as 3x minus 9 over x plus 11. And then swap that 27 up here and the 18 here. You could simplify that in that situation. Once you solve, you should get a final answer here of x equals 17. I'll go ahead and work this one out. It's the trickiest one. Divide by 9, we get 3. Divide by 9, we get 2. I would end up with 2 times 3x minus 9 equals 3 times x plus 11. 6x minus 18 equals 3x plus 33. Subtract, I get 3x. Add, I get 33 plus 18, 51. And divide by 3, we get 17. Okay, so again, that is it for the notes. Pretty short and sweet. Hopefully, they're all very similar. You've just got to be consistent with the setup. Good luck, have a fabulous day, and I will see you next time.